eminent judges and distinguished guests.
Today we'll be talking about the topic, tips for staying happy and healthy during pandemic. This is our content. And first, we're going to be talking about the impact COVID brought upon us. Second, always should respond. And third, the need for global solidarity and support.
According to the Worldometer website, until September 2021, there were more than 230 million people got infected, and over 4 million people among them were dead. Without a doubt, COVID-19 is the devastation. However, it is more important for us to unravel this problem and to minimize its effect on people's health and happiness. For the purpose of staying healthy, there are two main factors. First, our mental health, and second, our physical health. Before getting to know the tips to prevent COVID, Kyle, could you explain to us how COVID-19 is spread?
So when we're breathing air around an infected person who is exhaling small droplets containing the virus, we might get infected. And despite the infectiousness of the virus, people figure out effective ways to fight against it. And let's see what are some of them.
First, go get vaccinated. Second, wear face masks. And third, keep social distancing. For example, self-quarantine and travel restrictions. The data of this graph indicates that after taking these protective measures, the curve of confirmed cases has been flattened. And in this situation, fewer patients would arrive at a hospital each day, and the curve is getting lower than the healthcare system capacity, which means the hospital is able to keep up with adequate supplies, healthcare providers for those who are in need. But Kyle, despite the fact that we need to be extremely careful during the peak times of pandemic, is there anything else that we need to pay more attention to?
Yes, even though there are many rules you have to follow during pandemic, you should also pay attention to your own mental health. During lockdown, fear, loneliness, income losses, and many more. These things can cause extreme stress. Take US for example. Let's compare 2019 NHIS to 2021's household pulse survey. You can see that the percentage of adults facing depressive feelings and anxiety has increased by a scarily high number of 30%. And here, I'm going to give out 4 tips on how to keep your mental health strong and healthy. First is to find ways to connect with your friends by using either social media or phone calls. As long as you can reach your friend to have a chat, the lockdown wouldn't feel so lonely anymore. And second is to find distraction. You can watch your favorite TV shows, play your favorite video games, do the things you enjoy, and do the things that can make you feel happy. And third is to focus on yourself. Since quarantine gave us so much more free time, why not use this time on doing something we've always wanted to do? We can use this time to learn to play the piano, pick up a new language, even master painting. And last but not least, is to connect with your feelings. It's important to know that it is absolutely normal to feel frustrated and scared during this time. The emotions can often be overwhelming, but all we can do is to face them, feel them. If you want to shout, then shout. If you want to cry, then cry. By letting these emotions out can make you feel a lot better.
In our opinion, 2 of the most important factors that influence people's happiness are stable economic incomes and sufficient educational resources.
Yet, these 2 factors are deeply influenced by global pandemic. And here, we're going to introduce how they are affected, and through our methods, it can be mitigated.
According to the data on the right released by UNESCO, in 2020, there were more than 1.3 billion learners around the world who could not attend school, and at least a third of them had no access to remote learning at all. Even though some of them had the access, most of them struggled due to lack of supports and personal interactions between teachers and students. And as a result, these learning losses could translate into less access to higher education, lower labor market participation, and lower future earnings. What can we do to mitigate the impact? First, we should protect education budget. In order to ensure a resilient recovery, the government should prioritize by directing much of the funding and resources to support school direct remote instructions. For example, the United Kingdom announced a national tutoring program with a £76 million budget. And second, to prepare for future shocks by building back better. To support this aim, the government should be able to provide different modes of education in the future, and the school should be able to switch easily between face-to-face and remote learning. In this way, the education of students can be ensured not only during the pandemics, but also during other future events that might cause school closures, for example, natural disasters.
And here, let's take a look at economic impact. Job losses are a very big deal, as employment rate grew rapidly, increasing numbers of families fell into poverty and became unable to sustain their everyday life. During this time, to find a job is also incredibly difficult due to a massive drop in sales caused by restrictions and quarantine. Companies will just have to reduce some of the cost, and that cost is a laborer's wage. What are the ways to mitigate the impact? First, government-supported job retention scheme is a policy published around the world to make out some job vacancies for those who are in desperate situations, such as vacancies in tourism and hospitality. And in Japan, the governments also provide subsidies for companies and laborers in their country. Second, the quintuple stimulus vouchers. Taiwanese government has budgeted 13.4 billion NT dollars for coupons and vouchers to give out to the citizens. Us as a citizens can use this money to buy a lot of things, but the main idea of it is to boost people's consumption and stimulate the economy so it can recover back to its original state faster.
We believe now is the time for global solidarity and support.
And what we should do right now is to take care of ourselves and help those in need, so that we're able to rethink our future and ensure that the new normal is a better one.
Let's fight together for our post-epidemic era. Thank you.